106.7 Light FM.
106.7 Light FM, Cubby and Christine in the morning, and it's our big Go Gold campaign with Hassenfeld Children's Hospital. And we have a guy with us right now that we actually kind of know because we've met him at Hassenfeld before. But Rob Peretta, Rob, you have quite the story, and I just want to talk to you. Me and Christine want to talk to you about how you've been a part of this for a long time, and it all started when you were 16 years old. Can you tell us your story about what happened when you were 16 years old?
Yes, absolutely. So I grew up in New York, but at the time I was going to school out of state to play hockey. My parents dropped me off for the new school year on September 7th, 2001. A few days later, our family actually lost my cousin Michael Dioria, who's a New York City fireman, on September 11th. So the next few months, to say the least, were very hard. I was going back and forth from school to be home with my family as often as possible. I started to feel very run down as sports started. And by the time early November came around, I was really sick, but they didn't know what it was. And that was until I was rushed from school to the Hassenfeld Children's Hospital in NYU Langone. And on November 17th, 2001, I was diagnosed with AML, which is an aggressive form of leukemia. And I started treatments the next day.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, and I'm sure like a complete shock. As you said, you're already going through this mourning process, and then you find out that you're dealing with an illness. So what went through your head when doctors told you that you had leukemia?
Yeah, definitely shocked, very scared. But from that moment on, I knew I had one mission, and that was to beat cancer for not only me, but for my family. And I just knew it was a battle that had to be won.
Yeah, when the doctor said you had leukemia, I mean, what was the first thing that went through your mind? Because you ever hear that word before in your family? I mean, it must have blindsided you.
Yeah, definitely shocked. I was blindsided. You hear cancer, right? But you never think it could happen to you. And now you're surrounded, you're sitting in a hospital bed surrounded by your family, and you're dealing with this next challenge. But we got through it. Yeah,
you certainly did. And as you said, you gave everything, right, for this fight. What surprised you most about like the treatment and your experience at the hospital?
Yeah, so I guess aside from losing my hair, because as a teenager at that time, my hair was very important to me. But I was lucky enough to have my mom and dad and brothers by my side the whole time. But what shocked me the most was the way the doctors and staff helped me through it. Like they were my family, as if they were treating one of their own family members. And then, turning back to right now, almost 20 years later, I still keep in contact with some of my doctors and nurses today from the Hassenfeld Children's Hospital, which is great.
Yeah. And why is that so important to you? Because I know you keep in touch with Hassenfeld and cancer survivors as well. Why is that so important to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Hassenfeld Children's Hospital saved my life, right, to put it bluntly. But it's been one of my life focuses to give back however and whenever possible, whether that's through volunteering or helping to raise needed funds for the hospital.
I think there's no one who can better speak to this than someone who's been through the process. So you're talking to kids who were facing diagnosis like this is so inspiring and so helpful. And your experience with Hassenfeld Children's Hospital, absolutely amazing. So
thank you.
If you could, I'm so glad that you're doing this and helping us. So if you could share with Light FM listeners why it's so important to support Hassenfeld Children's Hospital and what we can do to help do that.
Sure. So I think people should give because the Hassenfeld Children's Hospital is a special place, and the money they ask for directly benefits children that are going through the worst part of their life. So, any little bit helps. So it's much needed funds, and we would greatly appreciate your support to help these children.
I mean, you're hearing it right from Rob right here, folks, a childhood cancer survivor. Doctors and nurses at Hassenfeld care for kids with cancer, and the help they give is just above and beyond. And you can visit lightfm.com/go-gold and give today. That's lightfm.com/go-gold. And thank you so much for your time, Rob. I mean, so you look great, and I'm just so happy like this is behind you.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you guys.
106.7